Hi guys, this is Glenn Fuller, Reverend Fuller, back again to answer a question that was sent to me via email, and I thought instead of responding to it individually, I would just do a little shout out. I was asked my opinion, and it's just my personal opinion, on what I thought of the $2.2 trillion stimulus package that was just passed and signed. Yes, I don't like it at all. First of all, I don't think people understand when they use terms million, billion, trillion, what kind of jump they're really talking about. So I decided to put it out there another way that maybe would make it easier to grasp. If I offered you $1 million, everyone I would know would be extremely excited and think that's great. But to put it in perspective, what if I told you that you had 1,000,000 seconds left to live? How excited would you be? Because a 1,000,000 seconds will give you 11 and a half days of life. So for those of you that think 1,000,000 is such a great big number, when you break it down, it's 11 and a half days, and let's pretend that 11 and a half days you're going to die. So I say, well, that's not quite enough. I need to jump to 1 billion then. I want 1 billion seconds of life left remaining. Well, for most of us at my age and older, that would be fine, because that's going to give you 31 years. So at 31 years, hey, that's going to put me, just over 80. I'll be fine. I'd probably be dead by then anyway. But for a lot of you, depending on your health, your diet, how well you take care of yourself, and the age that you're starting off, you may not be too happy with 1 billion seconds. You may be going, hey, I want to live longer than 31 years. But let's do what our government does and throw the term trillions around. 1 trillion seconds is now going to let you live 31,700 years. So can we grasp that for just a moment? That million is 11 days. The billion is 31 years. That trillion is 31,000 years and counting. So when we talk about spending $2.2 trillion on the stimulus package, it's supposed to help America continue growing. My question is where's the money at? Because with 330 million Americans in the U.S., if every single one of those people got a check, we would be nowhere near that much money. We've been talking recently, and I know numbers are really hard to follow doing this, but try to stay with me. The term or the number that's been thrown around is somewhere between 24 and 36 million people are going to be affected and out of work and on unemployment before this is all over. They're going to need some kind of financial help to get stable and back on their feet and to keep things alive. Well, let's pretend that number jumps to 50 million even. 50 million Americans needed help. If 50 million Americans receive $5,000 tax-free checks, that would mean it would reach up to 250 billion. Where's the other 2 trillion going? Well, when you find out that it's going to things like the Kennedy Center and the National Endowment of Arts and every pet project every politician's ever had, not to mention that the same Congress that thinks this is so necessary to save America and to help the waitress and the construction worker and all of us out, that they're talking about giving us $1,200, voted themselves a $25 million package to be split between 535 congressmen. That puts $46,700 into their pockets each. Even though they're quick to remind us that it's not a pay raise, it's for, living allowances and expenses and whatever else they can think of. It's a raise. They voted themselves a raise unanimously. you might get $1,200 if you're on unemployment for a month. And if you're like most of us living hand to mouth, by the time you get it, that $1,200 is not going to be enough to do much. But yet they could vote themselves 46,000 and change. This is the problem I'm having with the stimulus package. I'm not saying that the average person out there doesn't need help, particularly when the government's forcing them into doing things that they did not want to do to begin with. We're being penalized for somebody else's ridiculous actions, but a stimulus package that gives crumbs of crumbs to the average person and then absolutely lines the pockets of politicians and whoever else is out there begging from them or whoever else they're paying back or bribing. Let me put it this way. Anytime you have that many politicians excited about spending money, it can't be for any good. That's it for now. That was my take on the stimulus. I'll talk to you soon. God bless.